the premise of this entire Be the Change project is that, artists do their artwork of every different kind for many different reasons. But we became aware that many artists who do their work see their work as representing an issue of social justice, very often representing the injustice, representing either the way the world is or the way the world should be. And we believe that most of those artists have a vision of what they would like to happen in the world besides their producing their piece of art that might make greater change. And so when you think about this issue, and you made a reference before, which maybe you repeat, to the number of places around the country where there is an effort to control what gets taught, what is it, what in your dream vision, what is it you would like to see, and how do you suggest that people get involved?
There's so many different levels on which change happens, right? So I know locally, I think for me, it's about planting the seeds with Generation Peace that I can plant locally, and providing as many of those places and spaces for free learning and free teaching to happen. Um, I know that nationally, one of my action calls is around a pledge that's being put forth through the ACLU for defending the right to learn. But really, what I'm looking for is policies. I'm looking for national policies that protect teachers. I'm looking for, maybe not at this particular point in time, but at some point in time, Supreme Court decisions that protect the rights of teachers. I'm looking for counterpoint to all of these laws that are being passed that are limiting teachers' abilities to have the important and necessary conversations with our students that we need to be having. Edith, what about you? What type of what would you hope that this piece would inspire people to understand?
I think I'm thinking both locally in Massachusetts, as well as nationally, and that, I imagine this piece will of course have a broader audience. Locally, I hope that it will spark an awareness of the fact that censorship and shutting down of speech is a real problem here in Massachusetts. I think that lots of people, certainly who live in Boston and likely, in other urban parts of the United States, don't think about these types of challenges as so salient here. They think like, oh, well, that happens in Tennessee, that happens in Texas, that doesn't happen here. And of course, it is happening. I mean, there are fights against book bans happening as we speak. And then more broadly, of course, censorship and attacks on education that we're seeing nationwide. And I hope that your piece will be a part of sparking the awareness that people need to speak out and take action to shift the tide.
And I would just, to underscore that, let me just add that this is not only is it Massachusetts as well as Texas and Florida and Tennessee, but this is a live issue now on the part of people who disagree with us to move into control of local school boards all over the country. So to put legislation in front of school boards that basically would dictate what the local school, what the local teachers, such as Ruth, what the local schools are allowed to teach. It's really a quite extraordinary move, and I'm sorry to say that the people promoting it are very well organized. And there's just a major convention meeting of their group, of one of their groups, and the group is called Moms for Liberty, which certainly sounds like something, if you just hear the name, that we would all be for, Moms for Liberty, but it is actually not. It's a right-wing effort. It's a national effort. They just met in Philadelphia. And the good news is that the Philadelphia progressive community was able to organize some pretty fierce protests against them, but also to try to get the institution in the Jewish community that was housing this group, just letting them have their convention there, saying like, how can you host a convention of people whose goal is basically to shut down teaching? So whoever is seeing your piece, whoever is watching the move of these issues, has to take a deep look at what is happening locally, or as Edith says, what might be happening in the next town over.